Good afternoon. Welcome to the City of Madeira Beach Code Enforcement Hearing. My name is Bart Valdez, and I am the appointed special magistrate to hear today's cases. I'm a practicing attorney and have been a member of the Florida Bar for over 19 years. I've been appointed to this position in accordance and with the authority set forth in Chapter 162 Florida statutes. It is my role to fairly and objectively review the matters presented at today's proceedings. Today's matters will be heard in the order that they appear on the agenda. Every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence, arguments, or comments to offer related to the specific case that is being heard. If you wish to speak today, it is necessary that you be sworn in by the city clerk in just a few moments. In all cases, since the city has the burden of proof, the city will present its case first. The respondent or property owner will then be given the opportunity to refute the city's allegations. Formal rules of evidence do not apply to this proceeding. However, I will exert every effort to ensure that fundamental fairness is afforded to all parties. After hearing all relevant evidence, I will issue an order. The order will later be reduced to writing, and you will be provided with a copy by mail. Therefore, please make sure that we have your current address. Additionally, you are advised that I do not have the authority to grant you a variance, permit, or special exception of any kind. My role is solely to determine whether a city code has been violated and to provide you a reasonable time to correct the violation by whatever means is available to you. Please be advised that you may be subject to a fine, and a lien may be recorded on your property if the violation is not corrected by the compliance deadline. If you wish to present any information to me today, it is necessary that you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth. Therefore, at this time, I ask the city clerk swear in any witnesses. So, sir, if you plan to speak today, I need you to also, you don't need to stand up, understand you have a foot problem, just raise your right hand and take the oath.
Yes, thank you. Okay, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
All right, now that all the witnesses have been sworn, or everyone has been sworn, the first item I have on the agenda is case number 2019.963 with the property address of 150 142nd Avenue East. Is that the first matter on the agenda?
Yes.
All right, is the city ready to proceed?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Pinkard.
Okay, so the property located at 150 142nd Avenue East, the city received a complaint and performed an inspection on October 13th, 2019, and several subsections of a violation were found of section 14-70, general maintenance. A courtesy letter was then mailed to the property owner on October 17th of 2019, and a second notice was mailed via certified mail on October 31st, 2019. Let's see. Several areas of concern were pictured. Page 11, there's some electrical receptacles that need to be covered and fastened correctly. Page 12, there's a picture of a threshold for the rear door that needs to be repaired and or replaced. And page 13, it looks like that's where the electrical receptacle was that got pushed through the wall, so that will need to be repaired. And page 14, there's some siding, exterior siding, that needs to be repaired. And page 15 is just a picture, a street view of the structure in question. And we need to have an address on the building that's visible from the curb.
All right, Mr. Pinkard, when is the last time that you were able to inspect the property?
The one inspection was done on the 13th. I didn't get any response from the owner, but the tenant was in contact with me regularly. So I haven't personally been out there other than the 13th.
All right. To your knowledge, though, this property is still in violation as
Correct.
we sit here today? All right, I'll go ahead and accept into the record as exhibit number 1 the agenda packet containing the notices, the photographs, and the other matters that you just identified, and it's identified as pages 1 through 15. Mr. Pinkers, anything else that you want to tell me this time?
Not at this time, no.
What is the city's position on the time for compliance? And I'm sorry, let me change what I just said too. Accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, pages 1 through 31 of the agenda packet as exhibit 1. What is the city's position on the time to be allowed for corrections?
I think 2 weeks is enough.
And what's the city's position on the amount of the fine that should run with the property in the event that the items you noted on pages 20 through 24 are not corrected, and also on pages 11 through 15?
I think it would be the standard, the $250 a day, and I'm assuming that would just be the one section violation, not every subsection.
Sure, I understand. All right, anything else, Mr. Pickard?
No, not at this time.
All right, is the property owner here? Anybody on behalf of the property owner? You the property owner, sir? All right, hold on just one second. Ms. Sinkfield, do we have a mobile microphone? We might be able, okay, here it comes. Hold on just one second, sir.
I can go lean on that thing. All right.
Whatever's easier for you.
That would work. If you can get up there, that would be helpful. Okay.
All right, sir, first, will you please give me your name and address?
John Navarro.
All right, and Mr. Navarro, are you the property owner?
Yes.
Excellent. Mr. Navarro, at this point in the proceeding, you have the right to ask questions of Mr. Pinkard. I'm going to give you an opportunity in just a few minutes to tell me whatever it is you want to tell me. But at this point in the proceedings, if there's any questions you have for him about what he just told me, you can question the witness.
So I would just like to meet with him and, get pictures so he could show me. The 2 weeks, I'm going to need more time than that. It's the holidays. I don't have a decent handyman, and it's already going to be December. Nobody's going to come out in the next probably week. They're already going to say I'm booked for 2 or 3 weeks, so I would like an extension, until maybe, the end of December or something, or close to it. Because, like I said, to try to find a handyman, and then I don't know. Like I said, I'm in the middle of evicting them, or I hired an attorney last week out of Clearwater. And I don't know how I'm even gonna, or what the legalities are for me to, get into the property.
Let me, hold on just one second, Mr. Navarro. Are there any questions you want to ask Mr. Pinkard? Okay.
So just like I said, I just need to find out what needs to be corrected.
I got you. Stay standing there. Don't go anywhere. All right, I'm going to take that as no questions for Mr. Pinkard. Mr. Pinkard, before I open it up to Mr. Navarro, is there anything else the city wants to provide at this point in time? Any other evidence or information?
No.
All right. Mr. Navarro, this is now your portion of the hearing to tell me whatever you want. I obviously was listening to what you just said. Let me ask you a few questions and then tell me whatever else you want to tell me. Is there a tenant presently in the property?
Yes.
All right, when you hired a lawyer, is that because the tenant's not paying rent or something like that, or what's going on?
Pardon my French, but she's the biggest bitch I ever met in my life, and the place was inspected before they moved in. When we first purchased the place, Frank, the gentleman from here, the older gentleman, he went over there with us, and we went over the whole property with a fine-tooth comb, and some of the things that Holden just showed me is stuff that the tenant just went, and if there's any of the sockets or whatever pushed in or missing, they actually took them off themselves and then decided to call code enforcement.
I got you. And so
There was numbers on the mailbox, you know, for the house address. I don't know what happened with that.
have you seen have you seen inside the home the pictures that Mr. Pinkard took?
Holden just showed them to me, like, when we first got here today.
Okay, so when's the last time you've been inside the house?
Right when I just rented them the house, probably, I think, June or July. June or July.
Do you have any reason to dispute that these pictures that Mr. Pinkard took accurately depict these areas within and outside the house?
No, sir, I'm not disputing it, but like I said, I'm disputing the fact that when those folks would have not moved in the house if any of that stuff was like that.
Gotcha. Mr. Navarro, if I gave you through December 31st to cure these violations and get this fixed, is that enough time for you?
I would try my best, Your Honor, and if not, I would get a hold of Holden and, you know, just tell him where there might be a problem. Some of it seems to be, you know, I'll have to get somebody over there, and I don't know what, he showed me something on the house, on the wood or something. I don't know what has to be done there. If you could suggest, or maybe what you can show me in the picture, I'd appreciate it.
And just stay there, Mr. Navarro. Mr. Pinkard, does this require, any of this work require a permit? I mean, you may not have all the information. I'm just, from a timing perspective.
No, a majority of these are considered maintenance.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
All right. Mr. Navarro, is anything else you want to tell me at this time?
No, Your Honor, like I said, I'm just having problems with the tenant, and most of this stuff that Holden just showed me was basically, you know, done intentionally by the tenant and then called, because if any of that stuff was like that, we went over that whole, even when they moved in with them, you know, everything was, you know, in fine working order. I even had a girl cleaning the inside of the house for 7 hours, you know, so everything was clean from top to bottom.
Got it. All right, Mr. Navarro, stay there. This is a public hearing, so I technically open the hearing up to public comment. I don't see anyone else in the room, so the record will reflect that I've opened it up for public comment, but there are no members of the public here to comment. Have there been any other materials received by the city in regard to this matter?
No, I didn't receive anything.
All right. We'll go ahead and close public comment. Mr. Pinkard, anything else?
I guess we just need a good mailing address. I know we had trouble with the notice, just notices in general. So if we can get a good mailing address now and in the future.
Yeah, Mr. Navarro, what is the best way for the city to reach you by mail?
11501 47th Avenue.
North? Here in Madeira Beach? And is the zip 33708?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, I gave Mr. Pinkard an opportunity. Anything else you want to tell me?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Navarro, it appears that your property is in the violation based upon what the city said. I have heard what you've said about the issues you're having with the tenant, so I'm not unsympathetic to that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find the property's in violation, and you're going to be ordered to correct the things just that Mr. Pinkard has pointed out to you. And he's got, if you haven't seen them, there are pictures of each violation, and then there's a statement as to what needs to be done to correct those violations.
Okay.
Once you get those violations corrected, you'll need to coordinate with Mr. Pinkard. Mr. Pinkard can then determine whether or not you're in compliance or not. So long as you come into compliance by December 31st of 2019, so the last day of this year, as long as you are in compliance, there will be no fine. If, however, you do not bring the property into compliance, then there'll be a $250 per day fine that occurs for every day the property's in violation. So once you get as soon as you get these things corrected, you need to notify Mr. Pinkard right away so that he can go ahead and take whatever action he needs to take to remedy the file. Also, if you hire an attorney and your tenant is giving you some issues and you need a little bit more time, then you can come back before me, you can file whatever paperwork you want to file, and ask for an extension of time. Now, I'm trying to give you a little over 30 days to get this done. That's double what the city is asking for, so I'm trying to give you time to get this into compliance. That's the goal, is that the property will be brought into compliance. But if for whatever reason, under the unique circumstance, the tenant is non-cooperative or something else like that, you can talk to your attorney, you guys can come back in here and ask for an extension. But as of right now, I'm gonna find the property is in violation. You will have until December 31st, 2019 to make the corrections. If the corrections are not made, then there'll be a $250 a day fine from and after January 1st, 2020, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else on this matter, Mr. Pinkard?
No.
All right, that will conclude the hearing on case number 1. Thank you, sir, you're free to go.
Well, okay.
You can also sit, I think we may not have a second one, so just sit tight for 1 second. Mr. Pinkard, I have as the second matter, the case number 2019.859 with the property address of 107 145th Avenue East. Is that matter going forward?
This property is in compliance, this case is in compliance, so I don't know if you still want to go through if we have to do anything more than that.
Let's just, we'll go on the record, and you can set forth what the violation was in case they fall back into violations again. So go ahead and just walk me through. Let me short circuit. I've gone ahead, I've reviewed the notice appears proper. I'll accept into the record pages 32 through 48 as exhibit number 1. So just summarize for me the violation and what has been done to correct the violation.
The property in question is 107 147th Avenue East, Madeira Beach, and the ordinance that was in violation is the building permit ordinance 8652, when required. A ramp was built on the east side of the property without the required building permit, and that is pictured in page 34. When the original notice was August 1st, 2019, and the second notice was August 20th, 2019, and on November 15th, 2019, the ramp was removed.
All right, so the compliance was removing the ramp.
Correct.
All right. Is the property owner present? Okay, property owner is not present. Any members of the public that want to comment? Record will reflect there are no members of the public attempting to comment on this matter. All right, based upon the statements of the properties in compliance, there will be no order entered at this point in time. If something happens later on, Mr. Pinkard, you let me know and we'll take it up at another time. Are there any other matters before me today?
No, sir.
All right, that will conclude today's hearing. Thank you very much.